Derivative trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. I'm running a little bit behind, but we're still okay. We just came in here on the open. Just a little bit of a move down. You can see tick down, not a ton of volume. No big deal. Bitcoin's trying to move up to 5,200. You're all insane. If you're buying this shit, you're insane. Absolutely crazy. That with the Bitfinex nonsense that we heard last week, I really am just flabbergasted that anybody is buying this shit. Anyways, started the stream a little bit late, so we're not have everybody in here all the way, but we're just gonna get started anyways. So the E-mini. Let's start with the E-mini. E-mini had a pretty good run up yesterday, the end of the day. And then it kind of came back, and Treasuries kind of did the same but opposite. Treasuries are definitely stuck here in a range between 16 and 20 or so. Kind of what I was a little concerned about, that because we're at the end of the month, there seems to be some people that want to buy it, but it also seems like there is somebody trying to sell it, perhaps because of the FOMC meeting. I don't know. And there was that huge stop run yesterday. It's a little frustrating because we did end up getting a slight move lower after that. So I don't know. Kind of sucks, but it's Tuesday. I'm going to be cautious, keeping my eye out for trend, but I'm not going to be, not going to hope too hard. Here it's Tuesday, and we do get, let's just refresh the page here. And I do believe we do have some news today. Yes, Employment Cost Index and S&P Composite HPI. Oh yes, Chicago PMI, so it might be a little quiet. Okay, well they took 39. What were they? Only a 500 lot in there. Interesting. Interesting downtick to start things out. Where are we at? I'm kind of tempted to go along with that one. Hmm. I am seeing flattening in the curve. NinjaTrader is not being too cooperative this morning. Like I clicked and it's like still churning. It's still a churning. Okay, so they did take it down a few steps there. Interesting. So this is again like that. They just kind of spilled over down and now they're at the low. And they're absorbing some. I think that I could potentially take it like that. Okay, sure. But we're going to have to be careful because when that happens, sometimes it turns back around on us quickly. Can't let Seth get a fill here ever. Come on. Of course. So the 5-year kind of put on the brakes there. Awfully weak bid, though. They're not putting pressure on the offer quite like I would have thought. Okay. See, these guys aren't pulling yet. Even though the 5-year definitely went. Wow. Wow, they definitely went. Okay. Oops. That's not what I want. Well, well, well. That's pretty wild. Okay, a little bit of volume at 11. Kind of both sides here, not really. Okay. Wow, that pulled at 10.5. We're getting some news coming in here now. That's why I think that they're pulling. By the way, I haven't been paying attention to the chat, but good morning, Uzi, Janice, and Wrong. Okay. Nope, it's coming back on us. That sucks. Okay, it was 0.7 versus an expected 0.7. Am I getting that right? Yep. Employment cost index. Change in the price business and governments pay for civilian labor. 0.7 versus an expected 0.7. It's surprising that it come back that much, though. But that kind of a pullback. Well, I think this is going the way that we want it to, so I think I can just kind of relax. Although, because it did get down to, well, let's say 10.5, and that is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put this here. There we go. Canadian February GDP was negative spot 1 versus an expected 0. So, negative GDP in Canada. Perhaps that's maybe a little bit why they moved back up. But now that it's flushed back up, it looks a little slow. Let's see if they're able to push back down here at 11. Having a real liquidity vacuum back up like that could definitely be some action that could lead to more downside if they decide to go for it. But there's a 5 there, and this is like a 3 and a 4. Okay. 1149 on the downtick. 11's not pulling. 5-year really wants to go though, and there's really some very strong flattening on the curve today. Stacking up almost to 2,000, but not a ton trading into 11. Okay. That downtick was a little bit more aggressive than the previous one. Okay. Yep, already flipped the level 2, in fact. Some absorption at 13 in the 5-year, though. And keep an eye on that. Notice the way that the targets below us are all behaving. Ooh my, so what's this one down here? It's way down there. Oh, 3.5. And that right there, and then not going. Stacking 3,000 and they're not selling into 11. Eleven not pulling at all. Now they're stacking to 4. Okay, there's some selling. Wow. Okay. Some profit taking here. Okay, that time that it ticked down, it didn't stack. 12. Okay. Well, now they're accumulating quite a bit here. Oh, yep, 10 pulls. Oh my. How come that won't move? Big ol' 7K there. Okay, decent amount absorbing at the low of the day. 5-year ticking down, not going. Oof. Okay. Iceberging on the offer now. In the 5-year, 3,000. That's a lot in the 5-year. That's a lot in the 5-year. Wall Street stunned by Google's dismal earnings. Those animals are so anxious to be let out this morning. I don't know what the deal is. My oh my, like she hasn't come down or anything. They're just going. Okay, so it still looks kind of even here, but the 5-year is doing this level break thing, so that's why I'm still kind of keeping an eye on it. There appears to be a lot of profit taking here, but there also appears to be a lot of momentum. So I think there's a pretty decent probability that they go down lower, but I don't really know what that probability is. You can see level 2 playing around a bit. Sorry for the background noise. The background noise, they're so loud. So he says his first target is 22. Well, so one thing I am noticing here is that as we've stepped down to the low of the day, there's quite a bit of liquidity showing up at 09 half and 09, isn't there? And there was a number of very interesting targets below us, although it appears that they're consolidating them into certain things. Those animals are eager to buy and sell as well. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I mean, my wife has been well, the long story is we've had the kids for a much longer period of time than normal because her ex started a new job and is at job training. And we those animals, she has to wake up early sometimes and go to work at a different time to make everything work. And so I think that those animals have gotten used to, like, oh, sometimes she comes down early and lets us out. And the dog in particular is like way too anxious to get out for whatever reason. See, they're trying to say, like, oh man, look at that. So there was a huge iceberg at 10 half as well. Well, this happened yesterday and the buyers eventually won. So let's see. Okay. Something's happening in the E-mini now. There's quite a bit of printing happening in ES. They're moving up, so I think that some company earnings might have just come out. Yay, Jigsaw Day Trader is out, 0.14. Okay, still a lot trading back and forth at 10 half. The 5-year, though, not taking 12 half offer again yet. E-mini had a little bit of a move up, but now is overall selling. Actually sold quite a bit there, in fact. That moved down. Did we have? Yes, we did. It was the 6J. Very, very nicely moving down with it, and a very pretty head and shoulders pattern with it. Yeah. No. Maybe. Yes, maybe. No. We've traded back and forth here a few times now. So that one always makes it like even more uncertain as to whether or not we'll push a new low or not. But I can put like one of these in. Let's do that. By the way, why is that a sell? That should be a buy. Okay. So they took it. Wow. Well, I should maybe mark it out of this. Paralyzed. Well, that didn't work out, did it? That was a little bit too impulsive of a move up. Okay. Okay. Curious. They're fighting it there. Still no sign about what it was. Tariffs that started the U.S.-China trade now dog its finish. Punitive tariffs seen as obstacle in U.S.-China trade talk. Hmm. On level 2 playing games still. That buy there down at the bottom was a lot more than any of the other volume spikes that we've seen. Wasn't it wasn't like okay, it was maybe about 30 to 50% more than that sell that initially took us down to the low when we kind of gapped. So there's definitely some people out there anxious to buy this for some reason. Well, of course, because there's that, you go long trade and they probably think that they're getting a good spot. And it is the same thing as yesterday, right? Where there was about 6,000 traded on both sides. Fine. 6,000 traded on both sides, and the buyers eventually won out, and then we moved higher. E-mini is recovering a bit now. At 12 is hmm. 5-year ticks up. Shit. Am I gonna let this come all the way back on me? I don't know. So the problem I'm having with this strategy is that it makes me want to keep them, and I'm not taking the profits where I normally would, because I feel like I have more room to breathe. Man, hold on. Okay, so that was quite a bit there absorbed at 12. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I got my microphone set up okay, I think. And it's going back and forth a ton again. Ooh, and a lot back and forth in the 5-year. So it could turn here, but I don't really know. That could be a potential turn, though. And seeing that big bid down at 12.5. That's curious. A lot of liquidity down below us in all of these. Okay, they took that 11.5 really easily. And look at how much went into 13.25. Ooh. Okay, well they did tick down, but it's held it. There's a big sell at 28 on the offer. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out, IQ. The YM holding a more bullish pattern this morning. I don't know what's going on with the E-mini. I did not see anything come through on the news except for U.S.-China trade dispute. Okay, fresh rounds of heavy gunfire at a Guaido rally outside of La Carlota military base in Caracas, Venezuela. We're going to have a civil war in Venezuela. That's what it's starting to sound like this morning. Okay, so we were at 15.5 for a while before we made that push down at the low. And now we're back at that spot and just rotating around it. Now, when we tick down, I'm like, it seems really positive to me, but then it's not following through. And you can see that right there in the 5-year. Pulling up to 0. So this is changing a lot. I think that what's happening is you're getting lures on both sides. Nah, 13.5 gonna go offer. Okay. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Yeah. Interesting though that the 5-year is pushing down in this 13.5, and the 10-year is not reflecting that. Maybe if they build some liquidity on the offer. See, only 338. It went up to 400 for a second and then it pulled 500 for a second. So now they're throttling. See that? Now 8. They're throttling in the 5-year. I haven't seen that kind of behavior in a while. 1,000. Is it going to flip? Okay, flipped. It's still a bit more of a bid at 11.5 than I would have expected. Okay. Interesting how much pulled there when it was only 3 contracts that sold at 13.25. I think that somebody's got their robots holding some liquidity there and are telling them to not take any fills. Because if anything goes, okay. That time it held a little bit. Curious that the 10-year's not really reacting to it. Yeah, flip again. Oh my gosh. Wow. Stop. Run. Stop. Run. The hell was that? Well, stop run like that usually reverses, but let's see. The E-mini prompt that maybe? Okay, there is. Oh, that's really weird. Okay, the 6J moved down there, but the Treasury moved up. That might. Well, so I think that. When I should have taken it off at 12 at 10 for sure. And I think that because you did the 2 contracts thing and I've been giving it a little bit more breathing room, I think that I'm screwing those exits up. So we need to work on that. Now that it's come back up, this is a place where I would maybe be considering going short again. But that stop run higher has me really questioning that. But I guess it's okay if we take. Obviously, it's a mistake, but we're learning something new here. So, and this is an unusual market behavior as well. In fact, seeing now that the cumulative delta is higher, very unusual. And the 6J moved down. Well, I'm really surprised they didn't trigger my order there. There we go. Okay, fine. We took 2. Well, that's really sad. The other thing is that I probably should have added like, probably should move my stop down so that it's like, took me out at 11 or something like that, you know? Okay, aggressive downtick. The way the level 2 is behaving, I think that this is better to be out. That was the other thing, is when it started doing all the weird stuff, I probably should get out, yeah. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Oh, Case Shiller House Index. I didn't realize was coming here. 0. 0.2 versus 0. 0.2 expected. So far, a lot of numbers coming in today just right where they're supposed to. Okay, E-mini taking another step lower. Is the E-mini falling apart here? Do you have FDOM or limited? I don't know what that means. Okay. $12.5 is a balance area, I guess. Now I'm just thinking back about when we were seeing it down here, and I was like, okay, there's a bunch of absorption at 11, and usually they go 2 ticks below that, and I put it in, and then it got down there. I pulled it. I shouldn't have done that. Hmm. So now the 12 is looking weak, but as they hit it, it is absorbing a little bit. Yeah. So this again is behavior that I want to avoid as much as I feel like I should be clicking. Still seeing flattening in the curve, by the way. That's interesting. And 2s and 10s are steepening, but the knob is flattening. And the FYT is just a little bit. Just a little bit. Where is my ZT, by the way? Oh, yeah, I think that my ZT is still wrong. It's kind of showing some sell pressure too, though. Let's see if we refresh. What do we got? Dow set to rise at the open on strong earnings from McDonald's. House prices continue to grow at a slower rate in February, Keith Schiller. So the issue I got now that we had all of that, is that Chicago PMI is in 45 minutes. And yeah. Now there's this other story on CNBC that I'm very interested in. It says Stephen Moore says the decline in male earnings is a big issue for the economy. I want everybody's wages to rise, of course. People are talking about women's earnings. They've risen. The problem actually has been the steady decline in male earnings, and I think we should pay attention to that because I think that has very negative consequences for the economy and for society. Was there more to that quote? Biggest problem I see in the economy over the last 25 years is what has happened to male earnings for black males and white males as well. They've been declining. That, I think, is a big problem. He thinks that we can get to 4% growth with zero inflation. Probably not. I mean, I would hope that if we were getting 4% growth, that at that point we're hitting the 2% inflation target. You know what I mean? I think he's got a point though, because to me, I'm a little bit more broad, but to me, the biggest problem, I don't want to say problem, but like the big mystery that I think that everybody should be talking about and nobody seems to care about is that we're not getting any inflation. It's like no matter what happens, there's no inflation. What the hell happened at 41 seconds after the hour? I have no fucking clue. I that's what I was wondering, dude. So there was a little bit of movement there in the E-mini. Pushed us down. I don't know if there was some earnings there that pushed us down. And then in Treasuries, I've been seeing guys get stopped out both ways. So I took a sell and I held on to it way too long. And when it came up back up, it stopped run. There was kind of like a stop run on us twice coming up here to this spot. Now, it holding here at 12.5 is interesting, but you notice that they're still absorbing on the bid. And the way that it's ticking in the level 2 games and everything is kind of saying to me that I should probably stay out. but something's going on. But I'm a little wary of doing anything because, PMI in 45 minutes, there might not be a ton of movement between now and then. There might be a lot of people positioning themselves. Well, that was one of the more significant sells that we've seen. They might sell down here at 12. Anyways, I'm kind of tempted to buy the E-mini, but I don't really have any edge in which way it's going to go here. I suppose we are kind of at some support, but it's hard for me to interpret why they're doing what they are in the E-mini. Anyways, so as I was saying, like, why is there no inflation? This is a big question nobody's answering, and it seems to me that one possible explanation would be they were importing too many workers. Not only through illegal immigration and everything, but through FISA abuse. And I find it very curious that this isn't something that's talked about a lot. So that 12.5 is still kind of looking weak and absorbing contracts. 5-year had been more of a sell. Ace is thinking 29.40 for a short, huh? Yeah, I just can't tell. So I don't think I'll take an E-mini trade today until maybe after the PMI. Like maybe after 8 o'clock my time. Maybe I'll take one. Okay, so they sold at that time and it didn't absorb. Oops. Oops. Well, might have missed my opportunity there. Because I didn't have my order things set up correctly. Okay, they hit it. Didn't go bid. That's good. Okay. Quite a bit absorbed on the offer now. Hmm. 5-year took a dump there and is kind of recovering back. Also, should note that the 6J and the Treasuries are still not in line with each other. They sold the 6J while the Treasuries were moving up. Okay, well, holding a bit of a bid now. Hmm. Okay. Still at the back of the queue here. Okay. Hmm. So it looks like that the E-mini, they've come back to this support level and they've been holding it. So, hmm. Treasury is still saying that they don't want to move out of this range, I think. Okay. I like that. And get filled, but they're only able to put 200 up on the DOM. No pulling or selling at 12 though. How long have we been here for? About 30 minutes. We've been here for about 30 minutes now. Okay. Maybe the 5-year is going to do it. Well, if they trade down through 13 and a quarter, that might just cause 12 to pull, and it would just be like 2000 by 2000 then at that point. So, Okay, 700 on the bid that time. Hmm. And it flipped in the 5-year. This is about to give us a zipper short signal, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If it goes down and back up again. Okay, that time he absorbed some. A buy program there. Oh, we cut you. Bitcoin is running to 52, 55 now. What the hell are they doing? Okay. Okay. Even Bitcoin already topped off there. I mean, maybe they could go for more, but I don't know. That looked like a little um, unjustified. Let's see. Is there something here going? What's they saying about it on Twitter? Nope, don't see anything that interesting. Trump has not decided if he will support raising the federal gas tax, says Kudlow. Okay. Well, now we're getting 2,000 on there. Oh, okay. The 5-year did take 13 and 3/4, but there's a buy program there. Slow, slow, slow. Did Ace take his short? Oh, it moved it to 29.40.50. So then you would have gone short right there, yeah? Okay, he's short. Kind of interesting there on that move. There was a little bit of a reaction in the level 2 on the 10-year, but unsure what their read was. Only that they did something. Okay. 5-year tick down again for a moment. 559 on the offer, huh? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Okay, interesting that there's a big offer showing up here, 29.41.50. Am I okay on the background noise? Like, I can hear a lot of junk in the background, but it looks from my volume monitor here that you guys aren't really hearing it. Which means the expander working as intended. There's a live action Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I give up. Yeah, you haven't been seeing. So they released the picture of Sonic, and the gaming community was very upset. Uzi, they were very upset. And then yesterday they released a picture of Drew Carey as Dr. Robotnik, and he doesn't look anything like Dr. Robotnik at all. And they were very disappointed once again. And now, this morning, I believe they're releasing a trailer, right? So I have not seen the trailer yet, but we'll see what they think when the trailer comes out. But so far, it seems like that they are not happy with this movie. I think that Drew Carey could do a really good Dr. Robotnik, but you got to make him look like Dr. Robotnik. He's got to have like the big mustache that comes out and everything. Maybe they thought that was just a little bit too ridiculous. Oh my. Okay, so there was a strong buy there and they sold it back down. Ace stops out. Yeah, sorry, Jim Carrey. It was Jim Carrey. All those carries, they all look the same now. Now that Drew, without the glasses, they look like the same guy. The fact that adults will lumber their sorry butts to the theater to see a live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie makes me wish our country would be conquered by... No. Let me explain this to you. If you are an adult and you have to go and see a kid's movie because you have little kids, wouldn't you rather see a kid's movie about something that you watched as a kid? Come on, this stuff is golden. That's how they make the money. You got to get the adults and the children interested in it. That's where the real money is at. But I'm not so sure they're doing a good job. It was interesting because there was a thread about this. It was something completely unrelated, but it was kind of one of the things that got me started on this thought process that I've had on the past 2 days. But they were saying that adults are too childish, and that the culture is encouraging childishness by adults, and that they're not serious. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, yeah, why is it that so many people, that seems like that their primary interest is like the Avengers and Game of Thrones right now, and like my primary interest is, will interest rates go up or down this week, But somebody else came in and said, well, people were always like that. It was just, back in the day, they had different kinds of toys. And even though they're considered like we consider them more manly toys, they still had toys like their car or whatever it was. And yeah, that was kind of interesting, but our standards for film are terrible. They're going to 21.42.50 area and then take a swan dive. Oh yes, because he got out, it's going to take a dump. Well, I think there that my short in treasuries, well, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It does not look good. but my edge says that I should stay short. My edge says that I should stay short. So let's see. There's an argument to be made for that. When we were kids, video game marketing contained children. Today, it's adults in Mario costumes. Yeah. And they're really fighting back and forth there. 12.5 in the 10-year. E-mini took a dive. Buyers fighting back. But it was a pretty good spike down in the E-mini, wasn't it? $13 pulling. Well, I think I'm wrong. Let's see. Well, E-mini's still recovering. Yeah, they're going to recover that whole cell? Those are a lot stacked there at 12.5 now. I remember Nintendo commercials with kids rocking out in front of a TV to rock and roll music. I see ads on Facebook these days with adult cosplayers marketing video games. Yeah. But like that's the thing is that you know, if you can market it to both kids and adults, that's where so it's interesting that the absorption panel here shows me as net negative. It's a little bit of liquidity building up below, so okay, so now the treasuries have ticked up, but the E-mini is recovered almost all of its DAX has been pointing down this morning. My neighbor across the street was one of those adult nerds, and his house is falling apart around him because he can't deal. I mean, I hate taking care of my yard, but I don't know. It's the whole question though is like, have we actually become more childish in our culture? I'm not sure. I think that part of it is that there are some things that we thought were for kids, like video games, that really weren't. Like the video games that are popular today, like all of these shooting games, those are not for kids. Like even if my kid was 14, 16, I would be a little bit like, I don't know if this game is really the sort of thing. They're really for people that are like in their early 20s, you know? Um, and people were always very consumer oriented. But I think that something else has happened in our society, and it goes back to this whole thing that Stephen Moore was saying earlier today, that men make less. Um, and this is where I was saying that I think it kind of started me on this thought process that I've been on the past day or two. You notice, like, there's been a bunch of stuff about extreme, homegrown terrorism lately. Okay. Like, over the weekend, there was the guy that tried to shoot up a synagogue. Then we also found out that there was a guy that was a Muslim convert, I guess, and he was going to go to a white nationalist rally and shoot up the white nationalist rally, but he got stopped. But then nobody showed up to the white nationalist rally except for counter protesters, which was kind of funny. And these were both in California, by the way. So, like, there's an argument that that I keep seeing made that extremism has increased because of Donald Trump. And that argument doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If you were a white nationalist extremist and you felt emboldened by Donald Trump, why would you go out and commit a mass shooting? People that think they are winning do not do mass shootings. Mass shootings happen because that person thinks that they have no choice, like that they have no power, and that's the only way that they can assert themselves. That's typically how that kind of atrocity ends up happening, right? And not only that, but we're seeing them happen in very liberal areas. Like a lot of this stuff has happened in California. So I have an alternate theory. I think that there are socioeconomic factors in the United States today that are causing more young men to turn to extremism than normal. And it goes back to this thing that Stephen Moore was saying. Men's earnings haven't been going up, and the culture has kind of turned against men in general as well. And it's just not the best time to be a male in the United States right now. Not saying that it's like awful for them or that, anything like that. It's just that the opportunity, like the economic opportunity to grow, is not what it used to be. Okay, so I wanted to get out there and now I'm stuck. Like the thing is that people are getting jobs, right? I mean, I think that pretty much anybody that wants to be working right now is working. But I don't think that they are happy with the job that they have. You know what I mean? And then you get all of these other cultural factors, right? Like we pack people into, geez, come on. So the E-mini is really fighting there, and I'm surprised that the treasuries are just going up and up. Well, I was hoping that the 13.5 was going to pull, but I'm just like too. It seems like you get a big impulse down, and then the buyers come in and just hold it and hold it and hold it, and then maybe later in the day they give up and it goes back down again. Moosey says there's pulling all the way up to 04. Well, look, I mean, the liquidity is building up below it. So, I mean, the thing is if I buy it there, fine. No, I'm not going to chase it. Go long ZV. No, it's too scary. I want to do two because I want to be able to manage two contracts and take off two and give myself breathing room. That's the whole experiment. I mean, the thing is, the experiment is kind of working. I don't know. That one I don't think was right. I wanted to be out at -2 and I got -3. So that sucks. And it also sucks that I got a really good winner and it still only ended up being 125. So I might need to adjust some things here. I don't know. Well, they're above the open. And they just look like they're just buying. Well, like I said, I don't want to chase. But I do want to take that. because that delta looks incredibly bearish. OPEC output fell to lowest since 2015 in April. Alphabet falls as much as 8.6%. Oh, you were long at 29 and you bailed at 29 because you didn't trust it. Okay. That's pretty insane. I cannot believe that the treasuries are doing that. Where did I just put in a thing to try and it was just below the low. If I had gotten filled on that, that sucks. Cuz I was at 14. That was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quick ticks up. How can the treasuries be buying up that much and the E-mini not be pushing the lows? That's a little suspicious. The pulling and stacking feature in Jigsaw sellers got started. Yeah. Well, you notice this right here. Look at this flip here. Yeah. Sellers got scared. IQ saying the same thing that I was, just in a slightly different way. I didn't quite understand what he meant when he was saying that. Stacking and pulling feature in Jigsaw. But yeah, look, they were absorbing short throughout this whole thing. I was going the right way, and then when it came out the top of that thing, they freaked out and pulled and bailed, pushing it up. That's actually a short in the it's a little sketchy price wise. And of course the E-mini is not actually dumping. Oh, you know what? We don't want to be in this. Oh, this is bad. Okay. What's the PMI number? It's the PMI late. Oh no, it's not 8. It's not 7:45 yet. Okay, so the treasuries are buying still. Okay. 52.6 versus an estimated 58.5. So the numbers were bad. E-mini still, I mean, it's awfully close, but they're not going. Why are we not getting much out of this, guys? There's still some room for this to move up in the treasuries. Because you could still, we were up at 20 earlier today. It's actually a pretty big move over the day. Wrong. Goes down, yeah. No fill, but 1,000 in the queue. Well, look at the E-mini really, and man, the E-minis the treasuries are just pushing. I don't want to get caught chasing this, but that right there is a continuation signal. Curious that the E-mini is still kind of holding here. No film. Again, but it was a continuation signal you could see. If I had caught it a little bit earlier, I would have gotten filled. Yes, it's still, I don't know, kids. They did come back and fill me, but now it doesn't look as good. Strong stack at 18.5. No, they sold it. Really don't quite understand what the E-mini is doing here. Well, I suppose that reading of a PMI is not like a disaster or anything, right? So a lot of action here, just in a really tight range in the ES. Okay, Treasuries tick up again. Good strong bid on the uptick. It's holding this time. Oh, I only got one contract. Well, maybe that's okay. Okay. Bears made a little bit of progress in the ES. There you go. Maybe you could do that. Man, they get so close and they're just not quite going for it yet. When it goes though, I think you're gonna see some fun. They're gonna have some fun here. Okay. I really would have liked to have gotten that off on 2, and then I would maybe be taking one off at 20. Oh, look at the stack there. Okay. Well, I don't like that there's a little bit of pulling at 19 there. I don't like that the E-mini still hasn't sold through the low. Come on. Put her out of her misery, please. Okay. So now they're getting down there again. And they're acting all tepid. This is something else. Well, I've held this short in the E-mini for about 15 minutes. Hmm. Yes, consumer confidence at the top of the hour. Perhaps why they are still waiting. There's also this Venezuela thing. I don't know if that's really going to move our markets, but it's out there. That consumer confidence and pending home sales. Consumer confidence, we're looking for forecast of 126.2. Pending home sales reading of 1.1%. Well, that 5K at 19 is not pulling. I still see them slowly buying it in the 10-year and the 5-year. So there's a tick up in the 5-year. Pretty good hold, in fact. Okay. I believe that we may be getting some pulling in the E-mini because I'm starting to get some weird delta. Or, sorry, weird um, level 2 readings in and around this area. And that treasuries are stacking 6K at 19, but they're not hitting into 19.5. Okay, well, there was an iceberg there and it pulled. And it's a bad sign. Okay, iceberg on the bid. 7K. And PMI was the biggest 2-month drop in 5 years. Okay, pending home sales 3.8 versus a 1.5% estimate. Consumer confidence 129 versus 126. So both numbers were good. Hmm. Okay, I didn't like that downtick there. Even though the E-mini does kind of still saying it wants to go for it. Okay, volume on the edge. There you go. Well, that was a little bit of a disappointing new low. Maybe they go for it again. I mean, there's got to be stops down there. You got plenty of people that bought. Treasuries look like they're disappointed by that. Now you got the 3K on at 19. Okay, somebody bought it. That's good. That was a really strong uptick. This 19 half almost, it was almost more than the 19 half. See, they're threatening it again. Okay. A little bit of pulling at 19 half now. Good. Good take. I don't know if that's quite enough to hold, but this 20 is not pulling away. Yeah. Hmm. They both ticked up there. So it's giving me the continuation signal there at 19 half again, although we're not like in like such a strong trend anymore. The E-mini appears to be intent on stopping me out now. And I've been in that for 25 minutes. $19.5 is still able to go bid, and there is a ton at 20. Okay, there's a little bit of a stack there on the offer. E-mini took another little step up. Seems like an uptrend is developing. And I think I'm going to have to bail on both of these. Okay, well, so I was able to take that one off at -2. This one I just have to let it. Oh, it's so close. Okay. Treasuries seem to really be trying to lead the E-mini today, it seems like. Still not getting filled in ES. They know. It's like they know I'm there. It's so weird, isn't it? Don't see it. I don't. What is it that I not see there? There's something about that price. I mean, when I took out, I thought it was just kind of a random thing. There's something about that they don't want to trade into it. It's like they know I'm there. I don't know, guys. I don't know. That ES is one hell of a ride. Oh, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. There was pretty strong selling on the open. And usually when you get selling on the open like that, you tend to get decent trend in the E-mini. And has it done that today? Not really, has it? It's been pretty range bound for the first almost an hour now. So I don't know, but I was in that one for a good 30 minutes. Um, I've been in this one for almost 5. I'd say though that the deltas in the E-mini still look kind of bullish to me. Of course, if they go down for the lows, then they're really going to go. 19.5 is weak and they're not hitting into it. Some volume going on up here. Some people going short. Probably now that I've gotten out of that, though, they're going to go for the low of the day in the E-mini. You know, they got to do whatever it is that would prove me, that would be most embarrassing for me, is what it's going to do right now. Once May hits, that's the way that it works. Whatever is most embarrassing for Seth. So I think the most embarrassing thing for me right now would be for the E-mini, now that I got out of it, for the E-mini to go down and them sell it like 30 points. Yeah, Uzi pointing out that there's a lot of longs built up at 29.37. They definitely bought it. I'm really like going back to before. I'm really surprised that they did not push that new low. Like they did make a new low, and it was like the most disappointing new low ever. And then they immediately pulled back, and there's been buying ever since. And pretty much they have recovered almost all of the selling that happened. So that might have been short covering for all we know. And if we get another push up, then we're going to have new high of the session for cumulative delta in the E-mini. Now on the split side, the Treasuries did tick up, and that 8K at 20 is not there anymore. Were we long at 20 at one point? No, we were long at 19.5. I think this is just a Seth. You don't know what it's going to do here, and you should be staying out of this action. So that's what we're going to do. So there's buyers coming in again in the E-mini. Hmm. So, the question now at this point, that the E-mini is not falling apart. PMI was really bad. Some of the other indicators, such as consumer confidence and new home sales, were actually pretty good. Is what we saw in PMI really the end of the world? Perhaps it is just a temporary, transitory situation. Okay. Offers pulling a little bit at 20. E-mini kind of threatening that low again. Hmm. I suspect that they're going to sell into 19F and there's going to be an iceberg here, or all 3,000 of these hold it. And I don't know if they actually bust this level here or not, but it's too range bound to tell. ES to 2920, we will see. Threatening it. It's kind of interesting that after all that they're able to push down there. Although I've found that, you know, there are some guys out there that can really just make it move anywhere that they want, right? There could be a guy, he wants to go long, he knows it's going to go up, and he's just bringing it down there so he can get a better price, you know? Like, when it's going like that, there's no way to know. That's why it's better to wait for the you know, like when we were going up here. I really wish that I could have bought the 14, huh? Well, shit. They traded into 20, but it didn't go. It's unfinished though. This hasn't gone below 3 yet. I mean, I could help you by buying it, because then we'll almost certainly go straight down if I do that. That's how influential my order that nobody can literally see because it's on sim right now. It sounds like me. Yeah. Well, it's just me. I like the thing is that you know, um, I feel like that when you get into an area like this, that the way that they make money is by screwing everybody else over, right? So it's not like they're coming after me. Obviously, they can't see what I'm doing because I'm trading the E-mini on sim. Um, so nobody except for people watching this stream are gonna have any clue what I'm thinking or doing. And anybody that tries to take a trade based off of that is probably likely to be unhappy in the long run, because sometimes I do really, really well and sometimes I do really, really poorly. And the times that I do really, really poorly are like just kind of choppy areas anyways. And so you're probably, if you are making money against me, you're not making a whole lot. Unless you're the market maker, right? And so that's where I'm like, okay, it's not just me, it's that they're going to look at where everybody is positioned and they're going to go for whatever screws over the most people, because whatever screws over the most people makes them the most money. And if it's in range bound action and everything like that, and they have the ability to move it around, then they can totally just do it, you know? If you see NinjaTrader 8's profile indicator to delta, you can see that shit. The low on ES, for example, today is fat stacked with short delta. I haven't put those, the one that I made, I haven't been using them lately. I forgot to put those on when I redid everything, but I never really looked at that much. But you can just see it when you look at this, right? You can see, okay, here's a pivot, and when I look down here, and here's a pivot, so you can see that there's a change in the delta down and around here, and so there would be short delta down here. These prices would be red, and then it would be blue all the way up to here, which it's inverse from what it normally should be, right? Oh, the secret, they watch sim traders. No, it's like, if I take a trade, like if I'm on sim and I take a trade, there's probably somebody else out there that's trading live and is trading a bunch of lots that saw the same thing too and actually took that trade. And the market maker, because of the way that the market is moving right now, is going to go and take advantage of that, right? And you can see right here, I went short. No. Yeah, I went short at 19. And now it's offer. And I could be getting filled at 18.5. So it's ticking down, but it's not being super well, that doesn't matter. I'm going to post my notes. The low in ZB today is net short. There are also a zone between 25 and 28 that it was all short. That's why I went long at the break. Yeah. Well, whew. That one's always a difficult one, I think in this situation it makes sense, right? Like when I saw the stop run and then the stack at 14, I tried to take it long. Was it at 14? Let's go back and look at the orders. Hold on, I have to hide that column. Okay. So I had one that was canceled, and it was at 13. And then I tried to buy 14, and I stopped into it, and it never got filled. Man. And then it just went up like crazy from there. I'm really surprised that it moved through there like that. That is a kind of a move in ZN that you don't see often. And quite something else. Also, Bitcoin fucking insanity over there in Bitcoin again today. It's just, what are these people thinking? Oh, the whole Bitcoin price is based on a fraud? Oh, let's buy it. Gosh. And it's showing that the chart is even starting to show it fall down. I don't. Super weird in Bitcoin, guys. Super weird. Well, I could take it short at 19 again. Obviously, it was 19.5 was the right price, but it's too late. Well, when I look at it in the end, it wasn't like the worst trading in my life, but this one was definitely probably shouldn't have taken based off of the time of the day that it was. And then these two just, sometimes that happens to me. But that first one, man. It's always kind of like, when you don't take the profits, you should have. And when you do take the profits, you shouldn't have. And when you do convert it into a market order, they run it back on your face. And then if you don't, they run without you. And I don't know what it is about why it changes like that on me, because it'll go from like it works every fucking time. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. It's like it works every time, and then all of a sudden it works none of the time. Like even my edge, I had a good edge there, 11 tick zipper, and they bought it up. That's a good edge. That's an 80% trade, and we didn't get our 80% trade. That sucks. All right, let's type. Stock soars, says CNBC News as market falls. Yeah, I don't know what the E-mini's doing, man. It's a little weird. A little weird. And the treasuries do kind of look like maybe they're done and they're going to come back down, but when that one happens, it's often really slow. So, and it is doing the little chippy choppy thing. So, shouldn't have those two trades. I shouldn't have taken. I should have. I don't know. This is where it's like it falls apart for me in April for whatever reason. Maybe I'm just not being serious enough about it. But we'll think about that tomorrow. All right. Anyways, I gotta go. I will catch you tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay profitable.